Pardon board is called back to order. The time is 11:35. Our next case is Mr. Emmett Taylor, DOC number 318059. Date of birth, April the 25th of 1975. He's classified as a second felony offender. He was sentenced on July the 17th of 1998 for first degree murder to death. Also on 7/17 of 98, he was sentenced to armed robbery, 50 years. We have here in support of Mr. Taylor is his attorney, Talia McMath, who will be speaking. Not speaking is Matilda Carbia. Anna Carter. Speaking is Ryan Matthews on Zoom. Eve Hampson is here but not speaking. Ray Clark will be speaking. Yvette Trice will be speaking. Belinda Windman is here, and Pamela Clayton is here but won't be speaking. In opposition is Mr. Randall Meyer, Assistant District Attorney from Jefferson Parish, who will be speaking. Mr. Zach Daniels is present but not speaking. Mary Dewey is present and will be speaking, and Gary Toscano is present but not speaking. We will hear from, we'll begin with those in favor of his application. Ms. McMath, I assume you wish to go last. Mr. Ray Clark. Clark, if you would go to the microphone and introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ray Clark, in this cousin, I grew up same neighborhood, childhood cousin and nervous experience. I'm losing the other side. I'm just saying that as a cousin, I keep in contact with him. You know, we would speak and write letters, and I just noticed the progression of him as a person and the things that he accomplished by incorporating. But I know there's a lot of things you can get into that negative. So he's like real positive. Just positive person all the way around. Talking to him on the phone, you never knew he that his energy. I mean, the things that he accomplished in there is he keeps spirit, he keeps me going. So
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your comments. Next here from Ms. Yvette Trice. Morning, Ms. Trice.
Good morning. My name is Yvette Trice. I'm Emmett Taylor's mother. And first of all, I would like to say sorry for everything that is going on. I'm standing on his hand to say that I miss him. I miss him so much. And I know he has come a lot from where he been at in there, and everything. And I look forward to things that he's gonna be better for. And and we talk a lot on the phone. And one thing I can say, Emmett was brought up in church. I am working to myself, it's still going, he was brought up in that. And I never looked at for this opportunity that it would have happened, that he would have spending time or anything. And I just asked for forgiveness on both behalf. I am doing, and I don't really have much to say, and I just really just hope y'all just have mercy upon him. And he has come a lot since he's been in prison. He has come to a lot, and we could still talk, write letters. And I would just love to just be with him at any time that I can. And I just want to thank y'all for everything and just have me.
Thank you very much. We'll now hear from Ryan Matthew on Zoom. Mr. Matthew. You're on mute. Unmute your microphone.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Okay, I'm Ryan Matthews, and I'm a former death row inmate. And right after I turned 17, I was wrongly arrested and charged with first degree murder and armed robbery in Jefferson Parish. Just like Emmett Taylor was, I was tried, wrongfully convicted, and sentenced to death by a Jefferson Parish jury, just a year after Emmett Taylor went through the same thing. My case is an obvious example of when people get it wrong. Two people misidentify me as the perpetrator. Witnesses make mistakes. They are human. I was ultimately exonerated by DNA in 2004 after 7 long years of wrongful incarceration. I know that grave mistakes can be made. In that regard, I would hope that Emmett can get clemency so he can iron out the facts to make sure an innocent person won't get executed. There was a false confession in my case, like there are in so many innocent cases. My co-defendant was interrogated by the same detectives from the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. Detectives led to the conversation trying to put words in my mouth. They tried to get me to say things I didn't do. Me and my co-defendant were just kids. My co-defendant gave a false confession and implicated me too, even though we both knew it was a lie. I had to go on trial for my life at the age of 19. I was praying, Lord, help me. It don't look good for me, but still, I felt like there was no way I would get convicted for something I didn't do. I figured the truth would eventually come out. When I was wrongfully convicted, I was in shock and disbelief that it was just that easy for the system to get it so wrong. I lost faith in the system completely. Nobody could go through that and say that the justice system in Jefferson Parish worked. It was a hell I would be trying to recover from every day for the rest of my life. The justice system, especially in Jefferson Parish at the time, was not reliable. Numerous cases have come to light where individuals were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated due to new evidence or advancements in forensic science, including myself.
Matthew, we need you to wrap it up in just a few seconds, okay?
Granting clemency allows for further investigation to these cases, ensuring that innocent lives are not lost. I was only exonerated by the grace of God. I guarantee there are still innocent men on death row that didn't have DNA in their case. I know Emmett Taylor is one of them. Please grant him clemency. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
Thank you, members of the board, for hearing Mr. Taylor's application. As his supplemental materials show, Emmett Taylor is not deserving of the ultimate punishment. At the time he was arrested for this crime, he was an adolescent struggling with intellectual disability, severe mental health issues, and the effects of brain damage. Emmett was born to his mother, Yvette Trice, who is sitting in support of him today, when she was only 15 years old. Emmett lived in the notorious Villa de Ames apartments in Marrero, Louisiana, and experienced extensive violence and a series of head traumas, including being attacked with a pipe and hit by a truck. These head traumas would continue to hamper his achievement and functioning throughout his adolescence. He failed first, second, and fourth grade 3 times and was finally placed in special education. He was tested at school and his IQ put him in the intellectually disabled range. At 21 years old, Emmett was arrested for the death of Miss Marie Toscano. Emmett was convicted on the basis of a coerced confession and unreliable eyewitness identifications, which went untested because his lawyer did not investigate or challenge the evidence. Mr. Taylor lived under the specter of execution. He is condemned as undeserving to be a member of the human race. A grant of mercy is a bulwark against this grave injustice. We are not asking for his freedom. A grant of clemency is a sentence to LWOP. The protection against the revolving door that this board may be concerned about is this board. In contrast to what society may believe, Emmett is a valuable member of the Angola community who contributes, inspires others, respects rules and authority, and works daily to become the best version of himself. In 26 years of wrongful incarceration, he has had only 10 write-ups. He has had 0 write-ups in 7 years. Emmett has dedicated himself to his studies, religious practices, and helping other people for no other reason than it was the right thing to do and the best way for him to move forward. He has taken advantage of the classes that have been made available to him. He is on the waiting list for AA. Within the structure of the prison community, Emmett continues to manage his addiction and mental health while participating in educational opportunities, finally achieving his GED in 2020 after years of study. Emmett has the backing of his mother, his cousin Ray, and other family members who continue to love and support him. Emmett has been a practicing Muslim for many years and currently serves as the imam on death row. He has the support of religious leaders both inside and outside the prison, who attest to his religious commitment and leadership. As you have heard from Mr. Matthews, convictions and death sentences in Louisiana are fallible. Granting Mr. Taylor clemency is a recognition that this uncertainty is clear enough that Mr. Taylor should no longer linger under the sentence of execution. We cannot have confidence in the results of a system that is so broken. We cannot have confidence in a jury verdict when the jury did not hear all the critically relevant information. We humbly ask that you, this board, set Mr. Taylor's application for a clemency hearing so that you may hear from Mr. Taylor himself. We further ask that you grant him clemency. The pain of Miss Marie Toscano's family is real. The system has failed them as well. If given the opportunity, everything he has accomplished has prepared him to continue to learn, grow, and positively contribute to his community at Angola. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Ms. Mary Dewey.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. There's not too many people on my remaining on my side of the family. Most of them has passed. But I remember really well. My aunt Marie Toscano was murdered by Mr. Taylor, a repeat offender. Aunt Marie was a very loving person who enjoyed life. She never thought twice about helping anyone who needed money to purchase medication or pay their utilities. My family would gather every Sunday to enjoy lunch with each other. And after she was murdered, that all came to a halt. It was too painful because we were reminded of what was taken away from us. I miss her laughter. I miss her hugs. My father, who is no longer with us, took my aunt's death the hardest. I never seen him cry until that day when he heard his sister was murdered. He was devastated so much he could not even attend her funeral. He could not accept that his baby sister was shot in the back of the head. Mr. Taylor spent money after he got released purchasing a gun on the street. And then when he went to go and take a drug test, he didn't have an ID. He didn't have $25 to go get an ID. So he decided to go rob somebody. Mr. Taylor, I'm just a little upset for everything I just heard, but I just wanted to let you know my father died not ever taking a foot back in the house that my aunt lived in, the house that he grew up in. And our kids has never got a chance to meet my aunt. They only know her through us. So I'm asking that Mr. Taylor's request for clemency be denied. I've read the statement that he gave to the police. It was too much details for it to be not true. He admitted to murdering my aunt, even though he did not mean to, but he took something away. He took all these years away from us. And Mr. Taylor's family had at least over 20-something years to communicate with him. But that we were also robbed of that. So thank you. And again, I hope that Mr. Taylor does not get ever released.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Meyer.
Randall Meyer, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish, from Paul Connick, the DA of Jefferson, and the victim in this case. I'm just gonna talk about some facts pretty quickly here. In this particular case, in 1997, Mr. Taylor goes to a film school pulls a gun, it's gonna rob it. Mr. Scano tries to escape, leaves out the back door, and he follows and shoots him in the back of the head. He kills him. He was tried, probably tried, probably convicted and sentenced to death. He now seeks a commutation of the sentence, which should be denied for 3 reasons. One, he's not eligible under the Louisiana Administrative Code, Title 22, Section 203. 2, he's failed to follow board policy in this application. 3, he's failed to show any rehabilitation. With regard to the administrative code, the United States Supreme Court denied Mr. Taylor's writ application October 1, 2001, 22 years ago. He's got a year to file that application for this board to hear. It's untimely, should be denied for that reason. Secondly, he failed to follow board policy. Policy 02-205 requires all answers in the application to be answered fully, truthfully, and accurately. And the submission of any false information shall be grounds for immediate denial. Look at his application, number 12. In your own words, describe the offense and your involvement in criminal activity. The answer is by counsel. See his application. The written application quotes the facts as described by the, set forth by the Supreme Court in their opinion. He gave nothing in his own words. And as the clemency report was eventually completed, he refused to give a statement in the clemency report. He's given no description of his involvement in the criminal activity or the offense in his own words. Number 14 talks about his prior criminal record. Mr. Taylor lists 2 juvenile theft offenses and 1 for constructive contempt. That's it. We left out an armed robbery conviction that he had. He was not truthful in submitting that juvenile, that criminal record, which mandates a denial under 02205 policy. Number 20 asks for his current work assignment, and if not working, explain why. His response was not out. Number 22, efforts to demonstrate rehabilitation. Refers to the application filed by counsel and simply also talks about he got a GED in 2020, which is very commendable. I'm glad he was able to accomplish that. Thinking for a change in 2022, and then other faith-based initiatives. We would suggest that is insufficient rehabilitation programs to warrant having a hearing for a commutation of sentence. Number 23, disciplinary reports with the classifications officer's signature verifying the accuracy. His application provides a disciplinary report with the last report being in 2004. There's no classification officer's signature attesting to the veracity of that disciplinary report. When the DOC obtained his disciplinary report, which we eventually submitted into the record, he's got additional disciplinary reports. 2011, 2012, 2015, 2016. Again, not a truthful application mandating a denial under policy 02205. Third area is failure to show rehabilitation. The application raises actual innocence and other claims that are properly submitted in a post-conviction application. Mr. Taylor filed a pro se post-conviction application 21 years ago. It's never been supplemented. In the pardon application, it says, well, it's never been supplemented because there was never an order by the judge to submit the supplemental application. And all of the arguments they're making as to why he should be released center around issues that should be properly brought for a post-conviction application. Mr. Taylor's had counsel since 2005. It's 18 years he's been represented. Never has a supplemental application been filed. Everything he's asking the board to consider should be considered by post-conviction relief, not by this board. And lastly, we need to consider the trauma that is experienced by the victims in this case, and the victims' families. They've come here today to express their strong opposition to in obtaining a hearing. And again, as Mr. Roche has stated, a hearing today is the first step in release. So for those reasons, we're opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think that's it. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, first off, he does have 31 write-ups, not 7. I just wanted to clear that up. He has 7 juvenile arrests. So he has a long criminal history. And he served 26 years. I do not think that he should be considered for clemency at this time. I vote to deny.
Ms. Johnson.
My vote would be to grant based on the actions that the board has taken in similar cases and the requirements that he has met.
Rochelle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My vote is based on his prior criminal history, his poor supervision history. He was on supervision at the time he committed this crime, expressed opposition from the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, opposition from the Jefferson Parish DA's office, the Louisiana Attorney General's office, and most of all, opposition from the victim's family. My vote is not to accept the application.
After reviewing the entire record, this is an application for a hearing. I believe that he has shown sufficient evidence to grant an application for hearing. My vote would likewise to grant. 2 votes to grant, 2 votes to deny. The application has been denied.